Hello everybody, my name is Fernando Portillo. Today I'm doing a presentation on advancements in technology for the disabled. Just wanted to do an audio behind my PowerPoint as I felt it was a little bit more traditional as to what you would do in class, and I'll explain a little bit more of why I did certain things. I wanted to touch base today on two of the most common disabilities that are out there, and it's prosthetics and hearing aid. So those are two that we'll be discussing today. And as we see it here at the front, I thought it was a good picture to kind of illustrate. It's a little bit blurry, but it would illustrate pretty good of how far prosthetics and the different kinds of prosthetics that have come along throughout the years. I wanted to start off today by definition of what is assistive technology, also known as adaptive technology. According to the United States Assistive Technology Act of 1998, refers to any product, device, or equipment, whether acquired commercially, modified, or customized, that is used to maintain, increase, or improve the functional capabilities of individuals with disabilities. It goes to some of the common items, such as assistive technology products include screen magnifiers, large keyboards, alternative input devices such as touchscreen displays, oversized trackballs and joysticks, speech recognition programs, and readers. I included a picture on the right side of your screen. This is a new hearing device that has also been introduced lately. It's essentially an invisible hearing aid that no longer has to wrap around the ear and look bulky around the ears. So a lot of the people now, elderly and child with hearing disabilities, are using this new technology to move forward with the hearing aid capabilities. I wanted to discuss why I chose this topic. I felt like this is a technology that has greatly advanced over the last decade, to be more specific, and has had huge advancements and has been revolutionary for the disabled across the United States and across the world. I feel like the positive aspects of this technology outweigh the negatives at the moment, though it helps the overall good of humankind. One of the stories I wanted to share today is Grayson Clamp. Grayson Clamp is a 3-year-old child that had the first auditory brainstem implant, which essentially means that he had his ears directly linked up to his brain via artificial wiring. If you get an opportunity, I definitely recommend that you look this story up. I have a link also in the resources page, or you can just Google or YouTube search Grayson Clamp. He's definitely a revolutionary story that might be happening more going forward as technology advances in this field and helps the disabled even more. One of the reasons I also chose this story is because I feel like a lot of times this technology is forgotten unless it's needed. Many times we don't bring this technology to the forefront of our thoughts unless somebody that we know might need it, such as a grandfather or a child or somebody that might need this to be able to live a normal life going forward. And I think this is a technology that should be discussed more in depth, as is becoming huge medical advancements in recent technology. I wanted to share some statistics as to why I felt this technology is important, that needs further research and further study in technological courses all over the colleges. 1 in 5 Americans have hearing loss in at least 1 year. This is about 48 million people in the United States. Also in the United States, 3 out of 1,000 children are born deaf or hard of hearing, which is essential to their development and growth, for them to be able to hear and develop their speech. About 60% of deployed military servicemen and women have noise-induced hearing loss. I think this is a big one, especially with the many wars going on today, that we are able to help our military service and men and women in order to be able to lead productive and normal lives going forward after their active duty. In the United States, there are also 1.7 million people living with limb loss, which is the other category that we were discussing, which is the amputees. This is also a huge category, as 1.7 million people currently are having this problem. If you look at the picture at the bottom of the screen, you'll see one of the most recent advancements as to developing essentially an artificial ankle that works as people walk upstairs and walk up any item that has some sort of elevation to it. Now you might be asking, with all the good, there has to be something negative about all this new technology. One of the new items that people have been discussing, and I could tie this directly into our class that was discussed earlier in the semester, was Faustian bargain. By definition, every advantage technology offers, it also comes with a corresponding disadvantage. One of the most recent technologies that have been used is, if you look at your top right screen, is the new robotic arm, which is hugely advanced from what people were using before as a limb. Now, some people have some are opposed against this because it provides superhuman strength and it can cause disadvantages for some people and advantages for others. One of the most recent stories that came out was Oscar Pistorius, not for his recent scandal for the murder, but for his during the Olympics. He had blades as legs, as the bottom right screen that you see. Many people say that this is a disadvantage for others because Oscar Pistorius had an advantage because his body weight was lighter and he had better grip on the floor and he had other advantages that helped him overall in the running of the Olympics. You could also read a story that I included in the resources page as to some of the topics that they discussed. Like I mentioned, some of the advantages that he had because of his lighter legs, his grip, his other items that have essentially helped him overall throughout the races, and if this should be legal or not. I hope this small presentation has made you think about the positive and negative aspects of technology. Overall, I personally feel that there's more good than negative, but I wanted to get your take as to if is this for the greater good, or do you feel that there's going to be a point into which technology is going to be too much and it's going to give people an advantage over the people that don't have this technology attached to them, with how some people feel. Now, that might be an extreme at this moment because technology is not advanced. You can make the different arguments. I'd like to hear your point of view. If you want to leave it as part of this discussion, we greatly appreciate it. This is the resources page. I appreciate you listening to my presentation. If you feel free to look at any of the stories that I discussed today in the presentation, I definitely recommend that you look at Grayson Clamp and possibly Oscar Pistorius as some of the examples that I used today. Thank you again for listening, and I hope you guys have a great semester.